I stopped playing Diablo 4, Matt Matfee. I was like so immediately disappointed in Diablo 4. I don't want to play it anymore. It's like it's all like the Ubisoftification of open worlds. It's so boring. Now that everyone's CPUs are strong, it's like, oh, what if we just made like every game have a giant open world, and then once we've done that, like, I don't know, pepper that open world with a bunch of copy paste pseudo randomized dungeons and mob encounters and blah blah. It's like, dude, fuck you. Go back to Diablo 1, man. Bring me back. Bring me back to the beginning. Yeah, seriously, Gronos. Gross. You should play Pikmin 4 on stream. Maybe. IMO Guild Wars 2 is the best open world design. No, the problem that I have, oh god. Okay, the problem that I have is that, like, if you take a look at a game like Dark Souls 1, everyone who has played Dark Souls 1 remembers how Dark Souls 1 is built. There's no map for Dark Souls 1. You just wander around it, but every area feels bespoke with a unique environment that you're familiar with and you have strong memories of it. No one, not a single one of you, has a strong memory of, like, most of the areas in Skyrim. You remember some parts. You remember cities, some specific encounters, sure. Most of it is just generated topography that they textured grass and trees over. It's not like made in an artistic way. It's made to fill space between points of importance. Whereas with Dark Souls, it's all very purposeful. And I guess the issue is, like, I worry that games are trending so far in the direction of, bro, it's so easy to make a giant world map now. All you have to do is, like, build the boundaries, and then you use iterative tools to construct topography and then, like, lay out textures and models of grass and trees that you already had artists pre-design. And fuck, you can just build, like, giant worlds now relatively easily. And because you can do that, then it's like, oh, well, okay, then we'll build the gameplay around it second. Like, we'll build the big map, and then we'll be like, okay, well, here's all the stuff we add, all the little random dungeon encounters or whatever. But it's not, like, custom constructed, because it'll never be easy to make Dark Souls. It'll never be easy to make, like, a map like that. There's no cheat for that. There's no iterative design. There's no, like, let the game generate stuff. It's the same reason. It's like an Elden Ring. It's the same reason why you guys probably don't remember most of the open world. You remember, like, the gist of it, but you don't remember, like, step by step your experience moving through it. But you do remember the legacy dungeons, the castles, before the big ones, because those ones were hand constructed the same way. That kind of thing. I remember Breath of the Wild, though. No, you don't. No, you don't. You remember specific landmarks, and you remember the vibe of traversing grass. Your brain is literally, like, as a human, your brain is not capable of remembering the differences between 80,000 indistinguishable, like, grass plains with trees. You remember stuff in Breath of the Wild, but I remember the map of Dark Souls. So I'm not saying Breath of the Wild is bad. I'm saying you have to know the difference between what I'm saying here. You know what I mean? You have to know there's a difference between how those things are constructed. Explain GeoGuessr pros than liberal. I could be a GeoGuessr pro in Lordran. Thank you. I'd rather an open world than some BS PvP only game with a season pass. Do we have to choose between those two? Bullshit Vosh, Kayla, and Leonia are memorable as fuck. No, you don't know what I mean. You don't understand. You don't understand. No, you remember the zone, but there's no. Okay, you haven't played Dark Souls 1. You don't know. Never mind. I can't. No, I can't. It's people. You don't know anything. I hate you. No, there's a difference. There's a difference between these things. A lot of the Elden Ring open world is literally just an open space. You ride torrent across, and, like, one enemy pops up and you just kill them and you run past, or you just ignore them and you run past, and there's some grass you can pick for crafting items you'll never make. It's not constructed in the same way. Vosherkov, isn't this just a nitpick though? No, it's just a difference in how games are designed. It's a different experience. There is a difference between constructing the environment that a player will go through bit by bit, and building a big open box and then setting down all the set pieces within it. There is a big difference between those things. I'm not even saying that one is always better than the other, but to pretend that they're not different is insane. They're definitely different. Do you really think there's no difference between like Elden Ring and Dark Souls and map design? Like Elden Ring's just bigger? Like they just made like, oh man, they made Dark Souls bigger. Do you not see the difference in how the area is designed between Liurnia and say the Academy that you go to in it? Like there's a difference. Like the Academy is this puzzle box where there's checkpoints in specific areas and designated, like you move through it in a specific way, whereas Liurnia you just like you see the difference, right? That's a difference. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. No, it is possible to make a huge open world memorable map. My problem is too many games are doing it, okay? Diablo 4, an ARPG where your character is a meat grinder that is supposed to be decimating their way through a billion enemies a second at all times because it's not a very deep game. That's the whole point of the game. Having to like traverse across this giant open box of a map with like sparse enemy placement to the point where the only interesting shit is in the dungeons because the enemy density in the open area is so boring and low, and all the areas feel the same because I remember that in Diablo 1, 2, and 3, areas had different distinct personalities, but now it just bleeds together into here's the desert area, here's the snow area, and everything just feels like it's the same little windy bands of pathways you're supposed to windmill your way through. There's a difference in the construction of the area, even though, hey, props for randomized design. Diablo 4's map isn't randomized. Diablo 3's was, but I think that Diablo 3's was better because they were distinguished, even in the randomization. And Breath of the Wild is a terrible example because areas are distinct. No! No. Oh, no, you're not paying attention. You're not listening. The areas are distinct, but your experience in moving through the world is that it is a big box that you just run through. That's not it's not, oh, never mind. No, it's not, no. Okay, I'm going to do one last chance, okay? One last chance, okay? As somebody who knows a decent amount about game design, okay? Because I'm always right on this. Always right. People cope, they get mad. Then we're talking about politics, okay? But always right. One last one, okay? If you're making a game like Dark Souls 1, here is how the developers are doing it. Are you ready? Okay. The developers are like, bro, okay, what if we had a tower here and the tower had a pathway here and this was the bonfire you start at? And then there's like a staircase here that goes to the second level and that has a door that goes to this walkway, but you can only get that after doing this. And then there's an extra walkway here to a secret area that has a room right here. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then like we'll put an enemy here, we'll put an enemy here, and then we'll have this enemy on the top of a doorway, so when you walk through the doorway, they jump down and attack, and you have to react really quickly, and there's going to be 2 dogs here that'll attack you, and we'll put an item here, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that sound cool? Here's how you design shit like in Breath of the Wild. Hey, boss, our level designer came up with a map. It's like 18 square miles, okay? Where are we going to put the shrines? Okay. Well, we should probably have like about 18 in this area, more or less. We want to keep it more or less balanced, and like 20 in this area. So like, okay, what's the topography map? Okay, topography map is like blah, 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 blah. Okay. So we'll have like one here-ish and one here-ish and one here-ish and one here-ish and one here-ish. And we'll like have some camps sprinkled around and people can just like go around, they can just like go around. This is like, it's different ways of designing game worlds. Do you understand? Like, we'll put stuff here, 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 But it's not, you create the box and then you add stuff to the box to move around, as opposed to custom constructing the specific environment that you move through. Okay, that's it. That's done. If you don't get, I'm not even saying one's better than the, like, people are like getting really defensive over Breath of the Wild when I like Tears of the Kingdom, but like, there is a difference. It's different. I think that some games types are better for one, and some game types are better for another. I think that Souls-like combat makes more sense in highly constructed linear game worlds. I think that Diablo's ARPG combat does as well. I think that Breath of the Wild's gameplay would suffer tremendously if it was entirely contained into like dungeon-like areas. It's different things for different things. It's fine. I just don't think that Diablo should be done in a big, flat, open world. That's it. Okay. All right. Oh my God. Is classic Zelda designed like Dark Souls then? All older games are designed more like Dark Souls. Well, not all, but most. This whole like iterative, like build a giant world and plant stuff in it has become more technologically viable. and has gotten a lot easier with time because it takes less immediate human thought to design stuff. You build and you iterate and you construct on top of like a foundation. But I hope you can imagine how like scary it can be to try to build a level from total scratch. Like if you can imagine like, well, how do I build a level from nothing? Like that's an interesting puzzle, and it takes thought and creativity, and it's a different puzzle. It's a different thing. It's a different thing. It's a different puzzle. I'm right. You can talk to a game developer. Okay. All right. We're moving on.